Okay, I told you I didn't like where we ended. Was kind of bothersome. I didn't kind of like it, and I still don't. Still don't. Let's go ahead and talk about it. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Love and Hip Hop Miami. This is season 2. This is the reunion. This is part 2 of the reunion. When we left off, Trick Daddy and Trina had just, the two Rams had actually, bam, had just went head to head, and it just left me really bothered. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Anytime you see friendship where the people are like family to each other, it's a bad time. And it was, the emotion was so high in the room at that point. Even the people sitting around, you could see it on their faces. It was like a fear. You know what I mean? You never want to see that. It was like siblings going against each other. And she said some things, you know, she said, you know, I've been sick of your ass for 10 years. I know how that is. I know how that is to be dealing with a person and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and keep dealing and forgiving and forget. And then, you know, eventually you go off and it's ugly and it's really hard to come back from that. It really, really is. So I was bothered. I didn't find that entertaining. It was bothersome to me. But yeah, I didn't like that. But it was ugly. I don't know where they're gonna go. And literally, for the rest of the reunion, Trina was totally off. Like, she was off. She didn't really want to talk. At the end, the very end of the reunion, as they did the wrap up, she like jumped up. She's like, Gary, leave stage. And Nina's like, Trina, where you going? You know, she, of course, they has to do pictures. Like, where you going? And she's like, oh. She had to like go sit back down. It was bad. It was bad. But anyway, hopefully, you know, family tends to find their way back to each other. So I hope this can actually work out that same way, because that was really bad. Okay, so another little confrontation. Chaotic and Prince. Now over the season we've met Chaotic and we kind of fallen in love with Chaotic. Chaotic is good TV. Chaotic is funny. He's fun to watch. But Chaotic done rubbed me wrong here. As much as Prince gets on my nerves, I don't like slick, slimy people. I really don't. And in my mind, Chaotic is like a funny little dirtball little fella. And the funny little dirtball fella, you don't take him serious. You just kind of laugh. Um, he's a slimy ass. He was in this whole situation of trying to screw Liz. And it was really serious. Like, when he actually spoke out about this, he was not apologetic about it. He was not taking ownership over it. And he literally went to this whole thing of, man, you ain't friends. I know you. I was around you a little bit. He's like, we were around each other. We were together like every day. Like, what are you talking about? Hours and hours every day building a friendship. He's like, I'm not your friend. And it just made me look at him different. I was like, wow. I mean, he was just, it was real disrespectful. It was real disrespectful. And really, as the streets go, Chaotic's ass deserved to be tore up. Literally. Because, I mean, when you take that kind of energy, you need your ass whooped. And I think you were only being that cute like that because it was Prince. Because you didn't have that kind of energy for Trick. When Trick gave you the blues about Joy, you wasn't all hyped up like that with Trick. Anyway, that just made me look at Chaotic a little bit different. Anyway, moving on. Shay and JoJo. Um, that friendship is done. That there's no hope to try to patch that or put that back together. That friendship is done. It's over. It's a wrap. When Shay said that JoJo actually went on Instagram and misdiagnosed her and was telling people that she had cancer, that on top of everything else JoJo's been a part of this season, I just looked. I was like, again, a grimy, slimy bitch. Like, what? Really, JoJo? Yeah, JoJo's a whole piece of work. A whole piece of work. Then Bobby ended up, through all the mess of all of that, Bobby ended up apologizing to Amara. With all the shit where JoJo was all mixed in. Bobby apologized to Amara. Then JoJo sat there and threw Bobby under the bus and told she says, Prince, Bobby's in love with you. And she said it and she knew what she was doing. She was sensationalizing a conversation. I don't know. Bobby may have actually told her, because he thought she was his friend. He may have actually told her that he was in love with him. And she just threw that out there because she's not to be trusted. She really isn't to be trusted, but that she threw that out there and it got things all moved up. And then Prince got all hyped up. And I'm like, oh, this is a mess. This is a mess. JoJo, not a good friend. JoJo, she a bit messy. And I think a lot of it was for screen time. I think she threw a lot of people under the bus. She don't value those friendships. She don't give a shit about these people. This is all work for her. It's the feeling that I got. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Moving on. Miami Tip then went all the way in on JoJo. Baby. Miami Tip grabbed JoJo by the bangs, baby, and just drug her all. And she went all the way in. She wasn't for none of that bullshit. She's like, I see you. I've always seen you. Bitch, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. I said, whoa. Okay. And a lot of the stuff she was saying made a whole lot of sense. Made a whole lot of sense. And she definitely told her, I'll definitely whoop your ass. All the stuff about Amara's mom and the food and the roots being worked and all that. Then she backpedaled, pussy popped on all of that stuff about the roots and all that. I don't really know about it and this, that, and the other and all of that. And that's when Bobby was like, well, wait a minute, hold up. Now I was riding with you with all that. Then that's when he told Amara, I'm sorry, I owe you an apology. He apologized. And I laughed at Amara. Amara was so goddamn mad she couldn't get herself together. She told her, she said, listen, I am a good person and I am a good friend, so fuck you, bitch. I said, oh, go on, good person. Go on, good person. I cracked up. I said, girl, in that accent. She cussed her ass out. I said, that's it. I don't, so JoJo, I don't guess she'll be back because she ain't got nobody to film with. Ain't nobody messing with her. Then they asked Pleasure about her. He was like, I was never in love with her. We were just, when we dated a couple times, I said, oh God, disrespect. They were sleeping together and everything else. At least that's the image they put out. And he played her ass to the left. I was like, wow, that was awful. That was awful. Moving on. Gunplay and Kiara, this part just broke me. They're not together. They didn't patch it up. They're not together. Um, as the whole thing with Amara still is a misunderstanding. At this point, Kiara still doesn't really buy it. She believes that Amara was at her man. Um, they're not together. He still wants her. I don't really know. I don't know what to say about that, but I'll tell you this. If Amara was at your man, girl, it's understandable, girl. I ain't gonna play as fine, child. It's understandable. It is what it is, girl. But now you have every right to be upset. But it's understandable that she would be at that gunplay. Honey. But anyway, he still wants Kiara. Kiara's still playing hard to get. So she moving on. We'll see. I still got hope for them. He's clean and yeah, I got hope for them. Anyway, moving on. Then we had a little segment with Jessie Woo and Chinese Kitty. That Chinese Kitty was clean, 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 honey. I never really paid her attention much. Her and her mother were really extra, and I just kind of would ignore them a lot with their little antics. But I looked at her; her hair was so laid. That blue hair and that bob. I mean, that cut was like whoever cut her hair, they cut the shit out of it. It was, child, they had to use a razor. They ain't did that with no scissors. They had to use a razor, and they was a bad razor cutting somebody. Baby, that wig was laid. Everything was laid flat. Her baby hairs were perfect. I mean, it was perfect. Her hair was perfect. It was not one piece out of place. It looked so good, and she looked so pretty. And that blue, the light blue, just looked so good against her skin. Then she had this fuchsia suit. She looked so nice. She really did. She looked so cute, shoe on. Nothing was over the top. Nothing was overdone. She just looked really, really good. She really did. Her and Jesse Wu sat there and they told their story and where they're going with their advocacy for the Me Too movement and women who have actually been abused sexually and getting themselves back together, and also what they're doing, moving themselves along in their journey. So it was cool. It was cool. That much needed, especially at this time. So everything with Jessie Wu turned to a positive this season because there was a bad road she was going down on the show. Anyway, and the very last thing, which I thought was very, very cute. Um, young Hollywood has been laying really, really low. We was hating him. After like the first season, we were hating his ass. He been so quiet and so cool to where you kind of flip over to you kind of like him now. You know what I mean? And the last thing he did, he said he had some stuff in the works with Prince and different things, and they're working, and he's just grinding and making his coins. And then he said, I almost forgot something. He says, I want to know if Shay will go out on a date with me. And she was over there just gushing and blushing. I said, finally, a man that can be all yours, girl. Go for it. Go for it. I think I would like to see them two together because she's so ridiculous and he's arrogant enough, I think, to deal with her. He might, being with her might, once he's actually in a relationship situation, when you get in a relationship that other people want you, she might have a problem with him because he is so arrogant. If the women start to try to get at him, and he turns a coin too, but I say go for it. Shay, just go for it, and then just keep watching him, girl. Keep your foot on his neck. And I think you'd be okay. But I just thought it was so cute. I really did. I thought that was cute. Anyway, but that was it. That was the wrap up for Love and Hip Hop Miami, and I really do like Love and Hip Hop Miami. I really enjoy these kids. I do. I enjoy them. They so goddamn messy. They're messy, but it's good. You know what I mean? I enjoy Love and Hip Hop Miami, and I can't wait for them to come back. All right, you guys, thanks for watching this season. I'll catch y'all when they start again. And we're gonna move on. It's time for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So see y'all on the other side. All right, later.